As you honorable members, let's put our eyes on the ball, work hard, focus on the people. That's structure in our argument. One, you indicated, right, Honorable Speaker, about the need to be something. And I really want to thank you. And I wish to see a role in the rest of Uganda in the Uganda world. My worry is one, where
where are we feeling this Uganda? Where the result of our debate? Are we having the government ready to talk? Or the result of our debate just going to go to the National Planning Authority for the planning for the future as it is in the national level? My issue number two, right on the speaker, is on the matter of the quality of debates, which we have really highlighted. The days of coming with figures which are well, not on the speaker. Sometimes we do research. You come here with on the floor of Parliament, you 2 minutes. There's nothing much you can say in 2 minutes. Something on the speaker in that debate. My request, the ample time, although we are very many, the ample time is created to debate about the country of one. And we give you, the members give you the right information so that the much research that is taken, that we take making research, can be seen on the program. Thank you very much for your listening. Each time they bring something, they know where we stand. They know what our expectations are. So that there's no second guessing. Very much. That we must be standing up everything. My height and the order, especially after the communication, to reduce parameters and not reduce that much. Oh, there's not much you're going to say.
I would have been very surprised if he didn't say it that way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Mayor,
Mr. Speaker, the point is that this family last week at the German and said, the reason that you nobody can believe it. I was in the gallery with this family. That day,
I first want to thank you for your communication. And then members keep on coming and the population keeps on growing. Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg your indulgence.
I think that one we can handle at the level of the Parliamentary Commission. But to say this, I don't know whether it was more comfortable in the tent to carry and conduct serious parliamentary debate where the speaker cannot even see members. It was a complicated balance that we had to look at, because the tents were okay, and they were big, and they were wide, and the end is far. You cannot see anybody. And as a result, members would just rise and line up to face the microphone. They've already selected themselves. It's no longer parliament. It doesn't look like parliament to me, maybe to you, but it doesn't look like parliament to me. So when we reviewed this thing, we said, okay, Sergeant at Arms, go and mark the seats in the chamber by standards that are supplied by the standard operating procedures. Mark them, and as you can see, they are marked so that the spacing is okay. So if you are sitting in a place that is not marked, you're already violating a core principle of this arrangement. If your seat is not marked, you are in the wrong place. Please, please, please. So we counted, it came to about 114 members who could sit with effective social distancing, masking, and that's why you see all the doors are open, all the windows out are open to allow natural ventilation as well. These are compromises we are trying to make so that we can be accommodated in the chamber. The idea was that when this happened, on Tuesday, the 100 and so members of parliament who will sit will not sit the next day. And the next day, another group will come, so that we keep rotating until we perfect it. This kind of like, it's not yet fully worked through, it's still work in progress, but we're examining the weaknesses so that we can find something that can work better. I love these chambers. I love the tent less. But if they need, if the members think we go back to the tents. Secondly, there are issues with the tents. The public was upset. Unless we are going to buy our own tent and put it there. And that tent will no longer be like the one we used to have. It will be a tent that is meant like one huge thing that can accommodate members in a way that the speaker can still control the proceedings of the House. But as of now, of all those evils, we found that this is the lesser one. If we maintain the standard of the marked seats, and then we will continue. If a member leaves, another one can come in immediately. So that we just make use of the situation as it is. It's not us, it's COVID-19 that has imposed this situation on us. Otherwise, we'd be sitting on each other here, like in the past, and just proceed with the business. But as you can see, we are trying. We are trying to make it work. But it's more comfortable here, I think. And the new members especially also have to have a taste of what this thing is about. Some of you have been sitting here for very long. Some of these members are coming in and all they know is the tent. The best I know tents for are wedding receptions and related matters. But parliamentary proceedings, serious parliamentary proceedings in a tent, Well, the circumstances demand so, but if there are options that can be usable, we can explore. If they can't work, we change. If they work, we perfect them. That is what I say about that. Yes, can we now proceed, honorable member? The Honorable Dr. Bonica.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purposes, I'm Dr. Abed Bwanika, MP Kimanya Kabonera in Masaka City. Allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, to begin by welcoming you back. I'm among those that were waiting for you. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a matter of national importance, on the escalating insecurity in the region, in the sub-region of Greater Masaka, and in particular, Kimanya Kabonera. Right Honorable Speaker, in the past 2 months, our people have been murdered, a good number of them, and others have been left hospitalized. There is panic, there is fear in my constituency and in the region where I come from. And in particular, yesterday night, we lost 4 residents that were murdered in one village. The night of the 23rd, 3 people were attacked in the same constituency, and one of them succumbed to death. In the night of the 22nd, an old man, 90 years old, in the names of Edlisa Kakoza, was murdered by people whom we don't know up to now. These series of murders have been going on in my constituency, in the district of Rwengo, in the district of Komansimbi, in the district of Masakani, in particular, Bukoto Central. Right Honorable Speaker, should also be noted that several police posts were closed, and it may be the reason why there is a security gap. My prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, that the Minister of Internal Affairs should come on the floor of this Parliament.
Procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, this being my first time also to speak.
Since when?
I rise up to congratulate you, Right Honorable Speaker, and extremely delighted to see the new clerk who comes from my region. I congratulate the clerk on behalf of the ordinary members of Parliament, backbenchers. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on procedural matter, and I follow up on your communication from the chair. I took note very seriously of you following up, as they actually say, the animal you speared but has not died. You have always talked about quality of debate. You have always talked about evidence-based presentation in the House. Right Honorable Speaker, my procedural concern is, can we start now? That when I stand to inform Parliament about series of deaths taking place in Dokolo, I may not know those who have killed the people, but I should be able to mention their names to put them on record so that whatever presentation we make is evidence-based, we are well informed, because some people may think We are here to malign the image of the security forces in our areas. So let's try to implement the Speaker's concern beginning from now. So Right Honorable Speaker, my procedural concern is you have well spoken, and I believe the next sitting of the commission will define for us the rebranding of Parliament so that we know how we are going to rebrand ourselves in terms of quality of presentation, quality of debate. So Right Honorable Speaker, that's my concern as far as the massacre issue is concerned. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I'm being informed that the same matter was raised last week by the MP for Bukama Simbi. It's now being raised by the Honorable Dr. Abed Wanika. And I think it's important for purposes of follow-up, especially my friends on the front bench when they're taking their notes, to have some names, especially where they're available. It would help, because if we just say murders, 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 it may sound like that. And even I'm very uncomfortable they use murders, because murder is a technical term, at least from where I come from. So maybe killing would be more friendly in those circumstances, because murder has certain things before you call them murder. But be that as it may, Dr. Abed Wanika has raised those issues of security concern, the killings of some people which have occurred. It has been captured. And I suggest that the government says something about this and we move on.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And let me welcome you back to the chair. Regarding what the honorable member has raised, yes, we have heard of some insecurity in Masaka. I don't know whether they are the same he's talking about, but we have taken note, and already investigations are going on, and we will appreciate if we can interact with him to get more information so that we move together in order to provide security to our people. When we get full report about this matter, we shall return and report to the House. Thank you.
I think let's focus on this, a solution, rather than anything else. We want a solution to the problem. The minister has responded. And let me now go to, yes, Honorable Abdallah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Ichwan Abdallah from Kono North, and the Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm rising my point of national importance. The new vision of today, 24th of August, 2021, carries the headline wherein the government appropriated funds and a facility to do the transplant and the donation was put in place at Mulago Hospital. Up to now, many Ugandans are still going abroad for the tissue and kidney transplant, spending on each patient at least more than 100 million. Yet we have a transplant which was funded by the government of Uganda, which is not in operation only for one reason, that the government has failed to bring in Parliament a bill to operationalize the facility. It is against that background that turns out to be a matter of great national importance for this House to prevail over government to urgently bring a bill in Parliament for purposes of operationalizing the facility where the government has already spent money, but it has remained not operational. I beg to move.
Thank you, government, executive, front bench, rise to the occasion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. At the risk of accusing ministers for not being here, I just want to first make a clarification that because of the few numbers we have, we strive to ensure that out of the 8 to 10 seats we have are usually occupied by cabinet members who have issues on the order paper, so that we can give our colleagues a chance to be here. So the Minister of Health today didn't have any item, and therefore it's not here, but I'm going to relay this matter and ensure we report back to the House next week. Right, Honorable Speaker.
No, that one doesn't require next week.
No,
That
reporting
requires-
back on the status.
That one
So
is,
that we work on the law.
that requires tomorrow, because all we want is information of what's happening. Can this be done? We don't want a full statement of
Much
background
right, Honorable.
and stuff
Much
like
obliged.
that. Okay, let's have it tomorrow afternoon, some brief on the status of this facility and the way forward on this. Thank you. Procedure?
Mr. Speaker, matters that are raised in this parliament as matters of national importance, they begin appearing as matters for which ministers are going to make statements. Part of the reason is that the ministers are never here or they don't have information. So the procedural issue I'm raising, which by the way offends our rules, because sometimes they even attract debate. So the procedural issue I'm raising, Mr. Speaker, is whether matters of this nature are matters where the chief whip can undertake to go and, because government acts as one. And that's why there is a lead of government business, not someone whose duty will be to pick matters here and take them to someone. So these matters in our rules are supposed to be responded to immediately, but they keep appearing on the order paper and statements are given. Mr. Speaker, I am raising that procedural issue is whether this parliament should continue proceeding that way in total disregard of our rules.
Thank you, honorable members. I have made these statements about this matter so many times in this house that each time I try to talk about it, I hear myself so many times. Rule 46 was created as an exception to the general rule of all matters that come to the House requiring notice. Any matter that comes to this House must be with notice. In other words, give the members notice, give the speaker notice, let them know what is coming so that they prepare, since we are talking about evidence-based decision-making. The exception was created to deal with situations that are so urgent that you can't give notice. A bridge has collapsed. This morning, everybody woke up and the bridge had been swept away. That you don't require notice. You rush to the House and say, Mr. Speaker, you consult with the Speaker. The Speaker said that's very urgent. Draw this to the attention of Parliament and to the executive. Disease outbreak, landslides, the things that happened in Kasese recently, those are the things that are urgent. And that's why this particular Rule 46 was created, to deal with these really, really emergency situations. But we have abused this rule so much that it has lost shape and purpose. I want us to go back to it. You don't raise policy matters and in a matter of urgent public importance. That's what is the qualification, a matter of urgent public importance. But now you have substituted with matter of national importance. No. Those days are over. Let's go back to the rules and let's play by the rules. If there is no disease outbreak, don't show up in my office to ask for matter of national importance. You have other openings under the rules of procedure. You have motions, you have questions for oral answer, you have statements that you can make. You have, all these things are there. This inconveniencing thing of matters of national importance should be phased out and left to serve the purpose for which it was created. And I'm going to insist on this. So if the matter is not about disease outbreak, bridge has broken, hailstorm has destroyed crops and people are suffering, houses have been blown off, rivers have burst their banks, landslide, please don't come. Let's stick to the rules. That's why when we are organized, the processing becomes very easy. In the last parliament, we would have 3 pages of urgent matters that were raised 2 years ago. How can a matter raised 2 years ago still be urgent 2 years later? It does not even make ordinary sense. So let's stick to the rules. The exception was created for that purpose. Let's observe it strictly. And also the general matters, there are so many provisions in the rules that we can use to bring all those concerns to the House. I'm not saying you will never bring any issue to Parliament. No. The things are there. The provisions are there. You show up from any corner and you'll be accommodated, and the matter might even be debated. And that is the advantage that this system has. So the Honorable Muju has raised an important matter that we should be able to deal with. Clarification from the chair, you might have to cite for me the rules, the Honorable Member for Dokolo, because we don't seek clarifications from the Speaker. The last time I read the rules, they didn't say so. Can we proceed now to the order paper, please?
Item number 3, statement by...
And by the way, that was this morning. Yes, proceed, Clark.
Item number 3 on the order paper, statement by Minister on the general overview of the performance of Umeme.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Is this your maiden thing on this matter? Well, anyway, you're a veteran, so proceed, Madam.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is indeed my maiden appearance.
Honorable Samuel, I don't want to impute any other thing, but let the minister proceed, please. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, this parliament took a decision. The decision was that the contract with Umeme must be terminated. It was taken here. The statement on the order paper is on the overview of the performance of a company whose contract this parliament took a decision. The procedure issue I'm raising, because Mr. Speaker said we need to be serious. So we take a decision, terminate, and then you come here and say you're going to brief us about the defiance of a resolution of parliament, to brief it about a company whose contract parliament instructed you to terminate. Mr. Speaker, that's the procedure issue I want to raise.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, are you going to communicate a termination?
Right Honorable Speaker, I did not offer myself to bring this statement. I was directed by the Speaker to bring a statement on the overview of women. It's not my request that I brief this cabinet. And I'm just obliging to the directive by the Speaker. And actually, this was supposed to be given last week. I want to request that the members at least listen to my introduction. So
Only the introduction?
so that
I see the Land Attorney General rising. Well, maybe you can give him a chance. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. One, I wish to congratulate you on ascending to that seat. This is my maiden speech. It's my maiden speech before the Speaker. I wish to make a clarification or to inform my brother, Honorable Semuju. The concession of Umeme runs up to 2025. And as government, we have obligations. If we terminate their liabilities that come along, as the Attorney General's office, we've been negotiating with Umeme, and the decision that was taken was that we let it run through its contract. It is safer for government other than paying or getting a liability of over or close to $600 million. I wish to inform.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, you see, this is the kind of complication we get into. This was raised as an urgent matter of public importance. Now you can see the kind of complication you get into. I am dealing with a procedural matter right now. This is exactly the problem you get into. You rise under the guise of urgent matters, and then you show up with a huge substantial policy issue affecting substantial matters, and then we find ourselves stuck with it. How do we handle this? Now we are expected to receive a full statement from the minister when it was supposed to be face-to-face. You say something, I respond to it. Now, it's on the order paper. This matter must come on its own course, stands withdrawn from the order paper. Next item.
Item number 4.
Procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for pointing out that that matter came as a matter of question when members were wondering why Ugandans are not supplied with Yaka meters. Ugandans are no longer connected to power. We were here, Right Honorable Speaker. We requested the minister that as you come.
I've ruled on the matter. And we proceed.
Right Honorable Speaker.
I have ruled on that matter. We have closed it.
Item number 4. Motion for resolution of Parliament reallocate funds from Rural Electrification Agency, REA, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, and from Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation to State House.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Is it another urgent matter which was raised?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker.
On what matter do you raise, sir?
On the motion.
Which
I
one?
feel there are some gaps, Honorable Speaker,
Which motion?
as a matter of procedure.
Okay, you're writing on procedural matter?
Yes.
Oh, proceed.
Right, Honorable Speaker, for the record, I'm Dr. Vyakatonda Abdu, workers member of Parliament. Right, Honorable Speaker, the framers of the Constitution of Uganda, under Article 29E, they actually allowed freedom of association, including the right to join unions, trade unions. Right, Honorable Speaker, the point in issue, especially the members, the workers at the Science and Technology, have a labor union. And this union has never been involved in this matter. Right, Honorable Speaker, I find that on record, fortunately companies do not look at the sources, financials, but they basically look at how the worker force are handled, especially in the situation of the merger. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would like to, as procedure, there would be
the procedural point.
The procedural point is that it is premature to look at financials before we engage all the stakeholders, we engage the worker force, because now what are we allocating? We don't know how many people are absorbing, how many people are affected, what's their plight, are they being paid their money, how do we pay them? I think these are procedures, Right Honorable Speaker, and I beg to move.
Isn't that a matter for debate?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker.
If it is a matter for debate, then we just debate it.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, because I've had an engagement with these people.
Honorable member, you will be the first to speak after the minister makes the statement.
Much obliged, Right Honorable
That you
Speaker.
capture the substance of what you're saying.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the wise ruling. I want to also take this opportunity to congratulate you on your maiden chairing of this House, and also congratulate you for coming back safely from wherever you have been. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to move the motion under Rule 56 of our rules of procedure. Mr. Speaker, sir, whereas Parliament appropriated Uganda shillings 527 billion 114 million under vote 123 Rural Electrification Agency, and Uganda shillings 265.043 billion under vote 023 Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations for the financial year 2021-2022. Whereas the existence and vote status of Rural Electrification Agency, vote 123, was revoked under statutory number 29 of 2021, and its functions mainstreamed into Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Vote 017 as the Rural Electrification Department. Copy of the statutory instrument is attached to my motion, sir. Further aware that in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda abolished the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations and transferred its functions to the Office of the President, serviced by State House Comptroller under vote 002. And noting that Section 20 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 provides that Parliament may, by resolution, authorize the minister to reallocate funds from a vote to another vote, where the functions of the vote are transferred to that other vote. Realizing, therefore, that in order to streamline the operations of government, there is need to reallocate, one, Uganda shillings 527.114 billion, hitherto appropriated under vote 123, Rural Electrification Agency to vote 017, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and 2, Uganda shillings 265.043 billion, hitherto appropriated under vote 023, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations, to vote 002 State House. Now therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament that in accordance with Section 20 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, the Minister responsible for finance is hereby authorized to reallocate funds as follows. 1, from vote 123, Rural Electrification Agency, REA, to vote 017, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, as follows. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your indulgence, I can read the total.
I'll proceed with the total.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that under vote 123, Rural Electrification Agency, a total of 527 billion 114 billion be transferred to vote 017, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Once this occurs, Right Honorable Speaker, the vote for Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development will amount to 1,203 billion 583 million 987 433. 2, from vote 023, Ministry of Science, Technology, Innovations, to vote 002, State House, as follows. Recurrent, I beg your pardon, Right Honorable Speaker, a total of 265 billion 0.43 be moved to vote 002, and this will translate into 675 billion 278 million 751 537. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? Is seconded by the Honorable Yohana Musinguzi. I'm not taking secondment from the front bench. Is seconded the member for Ajumani District. Is there any further secondment? Is seconded by member for Terego District and Nabilatuk. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Right, Honorable.
Or at this stage, actually, you're not required to speak. The reason is simple. Because this is a a really substantive motion involving finances and shifting documents and figures and numbers. So you may not, you will have another day to speak on this. And that day, depending on how the committee works, will come very soon. So this particular motion cannot be processed as is. It stands substantively referred to the Committee of the Budget to examine it and come back. Thereafter, the Honorable Minister shall eloquently speak to the motion. And the Honorable Yona will also speak to the motion as seconder. And the chairman will have reported, chairman of budget will have reported. This matter therefore is referred to the committee. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Next item.
Item number 5 on the order paper, responses by ministers to urgent questions. 5.1.
Yes. Responses. Minister of Agriculture is not here. These are the things. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, are you ready to proceed? Proceed.
Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to congratulate you and thank God for giving you the grace to head this institution. Right, Honorable Speaker, yesterday I had opportunity with my technical team to meet over 60 honorable members of parliament representing the fishing communities. And it was one of the best meetings I've had since I became minister. I thank them so much for turning in a big number. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, in that meeting, we couldn't resolve the issue of compensation because one, we needed more time. So many other people were mentioned, including His Excellency had sent some team to investigate the same matter. So it needs us to have time to consult with him, and we can't tell when we can be able to meet him and get his views. Two, the honorable members of parliament by that time didn't have enough data from their different constituencies, so that we put this data together, who was offended, when and by who, and to what extent. So we agreed in that meeting that we are going to put all this together, and we are going to have another meeting. Then three, we have to consult with the finance and see how we can be able to compensate these victims. The last one is, Right Honorable Speaker, the fish bill we're using is the bill of 1964.
Honorable Minister, you are using a bill?
No, yes, but we have never, the law,
okay.
the fish law
I was
that
getting
we're
I was
using.
getting very worried.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The fish law that we're using was enacted in 1964. And then the act that we are using at the moment was of 2011. So there is need to replace this law. And by the end of last Parliament, we had already brought this bill to the House. And we pray that soon this will guide the fishing communities when they have the law in place. So please, Right Honorable Speaker and members, we do understand some people were injured, they were tortured, but we still need time to engage, to put the data together before we come back to this House. So this is what I can say for now. Bear with us. We shall come back again at a certain time and share with you. I thank you.
Same problem. Matters of urgent importance involving huge policy issues and so on and so on. But let's find a way of processing these things since they touch the communities, the communities affected by them. Will accommodate this one. When you are ready, Honorable Minister, please, which should be soon, so that we give confidence to the population that something is going to happen about their situation. Yes, Bukonzo West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
On what matter do you raise?
Procedure matter.
Procedure.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I really want to welcome you back, Mr. Speaker. We've been missing you as a country, and we thank God for His grace, for perfect health. Mr. Speaker, sir, I really want to thank the Minister. Mr. Speaker, sir, our fellow citizens, especially those that derive their livelihood from fishing activities, are going through a lot of pain. They can hardly place food on their tables. And the minister has asked for more time. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm just simply on a procedural matter, asking whether it's not procedural right for you to direct the minister to make a commitment in the short term. We've seen fellow citizens being tortured on the lakes, the fishing nets being burned and boats broken. What is going to happen between now until the minister reports back to this House? I represent a community which is a fishing community. Literally, their livelihood are shut down, Mr. Speaker. They don't know where to go. They keep coming to my home expecting me to feed them. I don't have money to feed them. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, is it not procedurally right for the minister to be directed to make a commitment, specifically what government is going to do in the immediate term? I appreciate you, Mr. Speaker.
On the procedural matter, I listened to the minister carefully, and she stated that the matter had gone to the president, who had appointed an investigation team. She is not able to tell how long that will take. But Honorable Minister, as minister, what are you going to be able to do in the interim period to deal with the communities that are affected? Some of them have been grossly affected. I've personally watched some of the things on television. What do you do in the interim period while we wait for your comprehensive response to this matter?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, Yesterday in that meeting, we also had the commanders heading Fisheries Protection Unit. And as you are aware, for the last 1 year or so, the commitment of Fisheries Protection Unit is that they have changed the approach that was hard and harsh, and the cases are not as bad as it used to be. Then too, the issue of displacement, some of them by floods, and yet they used to be in that fishing community. They need food because some of the boats that were illegal are no longer allowed. In that matter, I have already written to finance so that finance supports us to reach these communities in order to support them in one way or the other. The other thing we're trying to do, it still comes back to finance, is to give the youth and women some alternatives that can be able to help them in a short time as we wait for the long-term plans. So what we are going to do now is to follow up with the finance if they can be able to squeeze us anything small in order to save the communities, fishing communities.
Procedural point by the honorable member. Procedural matter.
I'm Kayondo Fred, MP Mkono South constituency. Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether we are proceeding right. If the Honorable Minister stands on the floor and begins talking lies, the hostility on the shores of Lake Victoria are escalating each and every day. People are dying. People are being tortured. People's boats are being broken every day. People are being killed. But when she stands here and says that there is any improvement on Lake Victoria, she's lying. So are we proceeding right if the minister stands on the floor of parliament and talks lies to this parliament? Thank you.
You know, I'm going to be kind to you because words like lies offend grossly the records of parliament and the appropriate use of language in this place. You never call another mom a liar or telling liars. Those words are too strong. You can use words like factual inexactitudes. They'll be more appealing to the Hansards and the rules of the house, and or words like it's not entirely true. The minister is not being truthful. The minister is being mean with the truth. Such ones are better than the one you used. So let's respect each other. We use words that are acceptable. Even when you are talking to me, even outside there, you say you're a liar. Even without being in parliament, the eyes will change. So imagine now in parliament. So let's moderate our language. Procedure.
Madam Speaker, initially I had wanted to seek clarification from the Honourable Minister.
No, you said procedure.
No, initially, I said initially, but then he took leave. But then I want to pick it from where she left, because I thought the issues the member were raising related to livelihoods. And the minister, of course, spoke to the future, and lives are about the present. Without the present, the future does not exist. She did mention that they had a conversation with the finance to make provision for short-term
provision for the communities. Would it be procedurally okay if the minister, by way of trying to calm the nerves of the communities, make clarification as to what nature of provision, what nature of conversation took place between the Ministry of Fisheries and then Finance, so that communities can know and take care of their short-term expectations, so that we do not leave this matter lying in abeyance without clarification, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, it would have sat with me very comfortably if he had said, Mr. Speaker, these are new matters and they keep evolving. We are going to constitute a team to visit the site to assess the situation, talk to the communities affected, because this matter has been here for a while. And it has been a matter of great offense to some institutions, the way it has been handled. And some of them have not taken it lightly. So we want a situation where we work harmoniously. I would have loved to hear something like, we are going to dispatch teams, do the assessments ourselves, talk to the communities, hear their grievances, and come back to the House after devising a mechanism on how to deal with it. And we would have also given us a timeline when this would happen. Your meetings with the finance in the boardrooms of Kampala and other places may not speak to those ordinary people who now feel neglected or they feel abandoned. You want to show government presence, positive government presence in those situations. That would have appealed to me, and I'm sure to the honorable members.
Procedure, sir.
Oh, are we now debating by procedure?
Right, Honorable Speaker. First of all, on my colleague who said I am making lies.
No, that one is finished.
I do understand him. Just as I represent the fishing communities, he has to do that because it's really very frustrating sometimes. I do understand him. However, as I said, for the last 1 year, the Fisheries Protection Unit has tried to calm down. Instead, the fishermen have even started killing some of the Fisheries Protection Unit soldiers. And recently we lost a soldier that they abducted and killed in Lake Victoria. Coming back to how to rescue our people faster, yesterday when we were in the meeting, we agreed with the honorable members of parliament that within the next 2 weeks, each of them is going to the area and we set committees. The ones of Lake Victoria are going to choose their chairman and they are going to have a meeting. The next 2 weeks, they are going to bring a report. Then the ones of Lake Yoga, they are also going to have a meeting and bring a report. The ones of Lake Albert will do the same. And then the ones of Lake George and Lake Edward will do the same.
Did you agree on anything in the interim while these consultations are going on? That is the issue.
Right, Honorable Speaker, we agreed the next 2 weeks would have come with this data because it's not easy to decide when you don't know exactly what you need to do. Then secondly, we also agreed to follow up with the 6 billion that was passed and given to Prime Minister's office last parliament. So that money was directed to the fishing communities so that they are able to be saved within a short time. So allow me follow up with that, with the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, in the next 2 weeks, the honorable members will bring this data and then we take the action.
Thank you. Procedural matter from the honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For record, my name is Aisha Kabanda, woman member of parliament of Tambala District. Mr. Speaker, you may guide, sir, whether we are proceeding well. The matter on the floor of parliament was compensation of the fishing communities, of the people that had been tortured, suffered torture by the army. And according to what the minister is explaining, I hear things that are completely new in a meeting that transpired between her and members of parliament from the fishing communities. May I know, sir, whether we are proceeding well to be receiving matters that are completely different from what we expected? We expected to hear from the minister how far has government gone in compensating persons that had suffered torture from the army officers and men that were manning the fishing communities. I beg to know from you, sir.
Thank you very much. Honorable member, if you recall at the beginning of our presentation, that's exactly what she dealt with. Discussions with finance, discussion with who to try and see where money can be found to handle those people who are affected, who have been identified, and that kind of thing. Now we have come to the issue of the activities that are ongoing. People who are currently being either displaced or whatever is happening. While all these processes are going on, what happens now? That's what we're interrogating with the minister to see if we can speak to our people and give them the confidence that there'll be a response from the government so that they can settle down and wait for the government to deal with this thing, together with the members of parliament from those areas, just like they have been stated. That's where we are, okay? But the other one has been was dealt with earlier. Honorable Minister, please come finish this matter quickly now. Honorable Shabe, what is the matter?
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you so much.
On what matter do you raise?
I want to debate to give my opinion.
To do what? Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the issue of fisheries is not one day's thing, but I want to ask for your patience. Within a short time, I will reach so much affected communities by myself and make sure that we support our people in one way or the other. I thank you.
Matters of clarification you raise with the minister, not with the speaker. Bugabula.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join the colleagues to applaud your commitment to see the Uganda we want. And Right Honorable Speaker,
First of all, on what matter do you raise?
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a procedure matter.
Your procedure, okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, I'd restrained myself from commenting on this matter. Specifically, Right Honorable Speaker, when the President visited our area, it's me who read the document on behalf of the fishing community in Ivuyende and Kamuli and Kalilo. And the President had committed that in less than 3 months, something was going to be done during the time of campaigns. The pressure has been high, Right Honorable Speaker. That is why you saw my colleague from Bugabula North had to rise and present that issue. That's why I had kept quiet, because the issue is tough in our area. Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday the minister called a meeting. Me, I didn't attend, simply because this was a collective meeting for MPs where we would not get the solution, because the issues that affect the community of Muvumba are very different from those of Kamuli.
Now the procedure?
Yes, the procedure matter I'm presenting, Right Honorable Speaker, is as the minister presented the future plans, we told them that some people lost their husbands, some people were displaced, they have nothing to eat. But up to now, the minister, Right Honorable Speaker, is presenting the future, not the current solution as you have requested. Right Honorable Speaker, my procedure matter is, are we really continuously proceeding well as we fight to see the Uganda we want when ministers come and continue saying, we are going to, without saying we have agreed to implement ABCD, to do ABCD.
So that is my concern, that is my area of procedure, whether we continue moving when we are going to, we shall, we will, we are planning, outside saying we have agreed to do ABCD. Are we proceeding well, right, Honorable Speaker?
Honorable member, the point is well taken, but that is just where I've been pressing the Honorable Minister to tell us, for example, in the interim period, what's going to happen? While all these big plans are taking place, what happens now as we walk? We are dealing with people. And that's the most important thing. We are dealing with people who are watching, who are reading, and who are in a situation that we are not in, probably suffering. We don't know the full situation, but they are in trouble somehow. We want them to listen and say, okay, the minister said in parliament that this is going to happen. Honorable Minister, please help us with that. In the interim period, what is going to happen? We close this matter. We give you time to handle with the honorable members of parliament, find solutions, common ground on how we're going to deal with this matter with finality, so that if the lakes have to breathe, they breathe without drowning people. I think that is the conflict that is. The Honorable Minister, please come, close this matter, we move. Clarification, are you taking the clarification from Ajumani?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. And we have been missing you. We are grateful that you are back. Thanks be to God. My clarification, the clarification I'm seeking for is when exactly is the minister reporting to this house? Because this matter has come here as a national matter now. And she has explained how far she has gone with honorable colleagues, but that aspect of when she is going to report has not been said by her. So my sister, can you tell us when you are reporting so that as a house we can make a follow-up? Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, let's do this. From my assessment from the responses of the minister, you can even see she's trying to consult. Honorable Minister, would you like to do short consultation now and tomorrow morning and come back and speak to the communities that are affected through this house on what you're going to do in the interim period tomorrow afternoon? Is that okay? Do your consultation and come back tomorrow, 2 o'clock, with what you're going to do in the interim period.
Most obliged, Honorable Speaker.
2 o'clock, we'll have this matter back and we hear from the minister what is going to happen in the meantime, while all these plans for dealing with this matter with finality is going to be handled. On this same matter, it has gone. Thank you very much. Can we go to the next item?
Procedure.
5.2.
Different matter, Speaker.
We are not going to carry debates by procedural matters. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me to welcome you to the House. I was about to do so, but Honorable Semuju would not allow me to say so. And I want to congratulate members of Parliament. I've never congratulated you, and I wish very fruitful deliberation and total cooperation between me and you as your Minister of Energy. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Opolot Okasai Sidronius, the Minister of State for Energy, has been handling this matter since it came on the floor. And he's in the House. I'd like to leave him present the matter which is on the order paper. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues.
Honorable Minister, proceed.
Right, Honorable Speaker, colleagues, this is my maiden presentation as a minister. So I wish to take you, this issue was actually raised at the 14th sitting of the first session, the first meeting of the first session of the 11th Parliament of Uganda, held on Thursday, 5th August 2021, by Honorable Kauma Sauda MP, Uganda District, raised concerns over the high electricity tariff that have curtailed enterprise development in the whole country. And the ministry responds as follows. Honorable Speaker and members, I wish to make the following statement on the matter. The electricity tariff is the price that the customer of electricity pays for electrical energy consumed and or services rendered by the utilities that provide the services. The electricity tariff is set to recover the reasonable costs of providing electricity service. These costs, also referred to as revenue requirement, include cost of generation, transmission, distribution, and supply of electricity. Principles of electricity tariff determination. Recovery of all reasonable costs and reasonable rate of return for licensed activity include: 1, revenues adequate to cover reasonable levels of the operation and maintenance costs. 2, the recovery of investment capital and the approved return on investment. And 3, incentives to reduce costs and improve operational efficiency. The electricity tariff is determined by Electricity Regulatory Authority under Section 10 of the Electricity Act.
Mr. Speaker, I beg your indulgence. If it's only me who is lacking the paper.
Procedure?
Yes, procedure, sir. As a matter of procedure, Mr. Speaker, I think it is procedure right for the minister to share with us his presentation.
You have already ruled.
I beg your indulgence, Mr. Speaker. I beg to know from you, Mr. Speaker, whether it is right for the minister to go on and make a presentation without sharing with us his presentation. I do not have it. I've checked in all our e-communications. It's not there. I don't know whether colleagues have it. Is it procedure right, sir?
Unfortunately, it is right, because this is a matter of national importance that was raised. It doesn't require a written response. So we are proceeding very well. The minister is just briefing himself on what he's going to say.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to proceed.
Proceed.
The current approved tariffs, I'm going to put it in Uganda shillings, then I will also turn it into US cents. I read it in Uganda shillings. Okay, I'll read it in Uganda shillings. The applicable electricity end user tariff for the period July to September 2021 I indicated. I'm going to read them. The end user tariff for July to September 2021 in Uganda shillings is
Time of use, it is dictated by time of use. Different times of use of electricity have got different tariffs. And then the category of users also have different tariff rates. So on average, on the different categories, we have category 1, lifeline. This is for a household in a rural area who just requires maybe 2 or 3 bulbs and then 1 socket for charging and his radio and his television. The lifeline average is 250 shillings per kilowatt hour. Above life procedure,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister is talking about something that touches all of us. And when you look at the question that was raised by the member, the member asked, what is the minister going to do to reduce the ever increasing indiscriminative electricity prices? Is the Honorable Minister therefore proceeding well to be tackling a different issue, telling us what is the definition of a tariff, when the member simply wanted to know what is going to be done to reduce this so that our voters stop giving us a lot of pressure? I seek your indulgence.
The Honorable Minister had announced at the beginning, which is a plea that this is his maiden speech. But the protection accorded to such maiden status of speeches is only to the extent possible. The extent has not been to the extent possible because there has now been interruption of your debate and presentation, because the speaker has also been waiting patiently to start hearing when you're going to deal with the actual question. Because this was a question, this was an urgent question. What are you going to do about tariffs? They're killing people. What are you going to do about them? You have outlined how the figures are generated, the final figures are generated. In those components, which ones are reducible and what are you going to do about it? Full stop. These other statistics is for the future. But for now, this is what we want. You will have cleared us. Proceed, Honorable Minister, along those lines. These other huge texts, please abandon them and just proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I actually went that way to make everybody understand how the tariffs are derived. However, I will go to what measures the ministry is putting in place to reduce the tariffs. One, but before I present that, I wish to correct the version that I don't have my presentation. It was uploaded into the laptops.
It's not even a requirement. Just proceed, Honorable Minister.
Implementation of tariff reduction measures. The Ministry of Energy, Mineral Development has undertaken several measures geared at mitigating tariff increases over long term. The following measures are being implemented to ensure reduction in electricity prices. A, debt refinancing of Gujarati Hydroelectric power. In June 2018, government finalized debt refinancing of Gujarati
hydroelectric power, reducing the extra large industrial consumer category tariff to US cents 0.88 cents per kilowatt hour and US cents 5 for a kilowatt hour at off-peak time of use of electricity. 2, distribution efficiency. The energy losses by Umeme Limited have reduced from the target 27% in 2011 to the target of 14% in 2021, from 27% to 14%, 2021. C, implementation of extra large customer category. In 2017, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development implemented the extra large industrial consumer category. This consumer category includes 43 industries consuming 27% of the electricity, and the overall cost structure and competitiveness is very sensitive to costs of electricity. 27% is consumed by just a few large industries. D, public financing of large hydro power projects. Government financed Karuma and Isimba hydro power plants. Isimba was commissioned in April 2019, and Karuma is expected to be commissioned in June 2022. The tariff for both Karuma and Isimba are less than US cents 5 per kilowatt hour during the loan repayment period, and reduces to US cents 1.2 per kilowatt hour, that reduction through that intervention. E, rebate policy. My ministry has implemented the rebate policy where consumers who finance construction of electric installation are and refunded through a rebate against the electricity bills or invoices. This has reduced the turnaround time for industrial new connections. Demand estimated at 60 megawatts is being implemented under a rebate policy. F, declining block tariff. My ministry has implemented a declining block tariff for large and extra large industrial consumers, where the tariff reduces as industries consume more electricity based on predetermined consumption threshold. G, hedging of foreign exchange risk. The fluctuation of exchange rate of the Uganda shilling against the US dollar is one of the biggest challenges affecting financial sustainability of electricity supply industry. My ministry has commenced a pilot foreign exchange hedging of power purchase costs amounting to $1 million per month effective January 2021. H, implementation of a free connection policy. In November 2018, government approved the implementation of free connection policy, targeting to connect 300,000 consumers per year. However, due to the realigning of the government of Uganda expenditure priorities, in part caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has thus, starting March 2021, provided for a dual connection system where consumers with the ability to pay for their connections will be connected, while the free connection continues to those who cannot afford. Procedure?
Mr. Speaker, the question was clear about the tariffs. Even if you give the free connections, it does not affect the tariffs. Mr. Speaker, I understand the minister knows it very well, that in Uganda, we generate more electricity than we use, and we pay for that excess. How does the construction of Yesimba, Karuma reduce on the tariff of the electricity we are talking about? So I don't think whether we are proceeding right if the Honorable Minister is not giving the right answer or is giving twisted facts to the question he was asked. Thank you very much.
Technically, actually, that's not a procedural matter. That's a matter of clarification from the minister, not a procedural matter. How do you expect me to rule on that one? So now that you have sought clarification in that way, the minister will find time to accommodate in his response to deal with that situation as well. Okay? Honorable Minister? That is for you. Clarification is for you, not for the speaker. You either accept, you can reject. I would wish to clarify on his question. I've actually indicated how this one is affecting tariffs. At construction, it is already down, less than, it is 5 cents per kilowatt hour by that construction. And after the construction and repayment, it comes to 1.2 US dollars. So that is a reduction, a big reduction. That intervention of construction of new dams. It is a huge, huge reduction in tariffs. Can I be allowed to proceed? Proceed, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, can the minister just complete a sentence?
Right,
No, Honorable Member,
Speaker,
please.
I raise on a point of procedure.
I haven't allowed you. Please resume your seat. You wait for the speaker to allow you. If I have not allowed you, do not access the microphone. You have no right. Until you say procedure, then I say point of procedure, please don't begin any movement. Stay where you are until I give you marching orders to go and speak. So on this occasion, the penalty, you lose your chance to raise that matter. Minister? Thank you very much, right, Honorable Speaker. Improvement of reliability and quality of electricity supply. My ministry has determined a new set of minimum standards of reliability and quality of electricity supply for Umeme Limited and Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, based off the financial reward and penalty structures which have been established, controlling Umeme and electricity transmission. J, engaging with Uganda Manufacturers Association, my ministry holds quarterly meetings with the Uganda Manufacturers Association to discuss, one, power reliability challenges faced by individual industrial consumers. Two, electricity tariff trajectory. Three, demand growth initiatives. Four, investment plans for the various users. Five, implementation of directives by His Excellency the President to electricity tariff. We are considering what the President is directing to reduce the tariffs, especially to the industrial consumers. Direct connection of power from the generator to the industrial, big industries. K, charcoal to power initiatives. When we increase the consumption of electricity, the tariffs will be forced to come down. My ministry has commenced implementation of pilot projects towards ensuring Ugandans and institutions use electricity for cooking. If we increase the number of people who are using the electricity, the costs of generation, transmission, and distribution will come down. So we want to get more people into using electricity as a way of reducing the tariffs. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, I wish to submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. This was a question for an urgent matter. The member who raised it, does he or she have a supplementary question? Rules are meant to be followed. If the member who is supposed to raise the supplementary question, we raise this initial question, is not here, that matter poses there. No other debate is required under the rules. Thank you very much, honorable members. There being no further business to handle, this House stands adjourned to 2 o'clock tomorrow.